What's going on in Storme Warren at the world-famous SuperBook in Las Vegas? You think you know a lot about betting? Well, I kind of know about betting, but two guys who know everything about betting, you're about to meet them in Betting 101. Kornegay and John Murray. Well, instead of me explaining all the terms and the slangs and the rules of sports betting, I'm going to turn to the pro. This is Kornegay. Great to see you.
Hey, Stormy, how are you?
Wonderful. I see these huge boards around the SuperBook here, and there's a lot of pluses and minuses and a bunch of numbers. What is a point spread?
Well, Stormy, not all teams are created equal. So the odds makers come up with a tool called the point spread to basically make both teams equally attractive to all the bettors out there. As we know, teams vary in performance, but the point spread really equals the playing field.
Yeah.
And that's what the odds makers like to have. Equal action on both sides. Doesn't really happen that often, but that's what the point spread is intended to do.
All right, Jay, looking at this board in my kind of terms that I can understand, what does the -6 mean?
Well, the -6 would be attached to the favorite. So if you were to bet a favorite that is -6, for you to win your wager, that team would have to win by 7 points or more. If they win by 5 points or less, the other team would be the winning wager. If it lands right on 6, the final score lands right on 6, that would be a push.
Oh, wow. So no winner.
On the push, correct.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it rarely happens, but it does.
Yeah.
But most cases, the favorite or the underdog covers the spread.
Why is the half a point used?
It's just a rating system that we're not quite, maybe let's say 6.5. It's quite not a 6-point spread. Not quite a 7. It's right in the middle, and that's something that will happen almost daily in our world, but it's a number that we come up with specifically to equal out the betting action.
It's remarkable how accurate a point spread can be from my own experience. How do you come up with the spread itself?
Well, people do remember those close ones. There's times when the point spread is clearly off and doesn't come into play, but our team in the back room of the SuperBook, actually, we have our own power ratings. And those power ratings are discussed each and every week. We adjust them pending the sport. It could be nightly, it could be weekly. And those power rankings really do come up with the point spread.
Yeah.
And we'll adjust it according to maybe some other underlying factors that might have come into play.
That
their last
change.
Performance, yeah.
And they change.
Injuries, stuff like that. But it's our power rankings that really come up with the point spread.
Point spreads change right up until game time and even during game time. How far in advance do you lay down the first point spread?
Well, it does vary. The SuperBook actually posted every single NFL game for the entire 18-week regular season late spring. And it gets a lot of attention. There's certainly a lot of discussion about it. But most other sports, usually it's a weekly basis or they... we'll post them nightly, right before, like I said, baseball games are on a nightly basis, basketball games nightly. So it really does depend on the sport itself.
Kornegay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Stormy.
I'm smarter all of a sudden. All right, hanging out in the world-famous SuperBook with John Murray. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Stormy.
All right, we're going through rapid-fire terms here.
Okay.
With totals. I see totals as a bet all the time.
Yeah.
How does that get created? What does it mean?
That's the over-under for the two teams' combined score. For example, the NFL opener, Kansas City's hosting Detroit, totals 54.5. So if you bet the over, they better combine for 55 points or more. If you bet the under, you want to stay under 54.5 if you want to win.
So if you don't want to bet on a winner or a loser, the total is a great option.
It is, and people like to bet over the really high point spreads, the really exciting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is pretty good. So I think we will see a lot of money on the over in that Chiefs-Lions game.
Awesome. And probably the most popular sport for total betting is football.
The NFL. The NFL for sure is number one. The NFL is number one for everything. College basketball total is a very sharp market. But certainly for the betting public, the NFL going over the high-profile games, Sunday night, Monday night, the most popular.
Awesome. Thanks, John. All right, one of the terms in sports betting that is really interesting and covers a very wide range of betting is the prop bet. Jay, what is a prop bet?
Well, a prop bet is what like we like to term it as a bet within the game. And it's usually the bet will be settled during the course of the game. For example, how many interceptions a quarterback will throw, how many fumbles will be there in the game, over, under, longest field goal in the game. It goes on and on, Stormy. But you could also term props as, say, will there be a first inning score during a baseball game?
Yeah.
There's those type of wagers that we have a long list of.
A hole-in-one in golf.
A hole-in-one is a prop bet.
Yep.
Absolutely. So pretty much anything outside the game itself can be coined a prop bet.
Including all kinds of bizarre prop bets, which we've all seen, especially surrounding the Super Bowl, I've noticed. What is the craziest prop bet you've seen?
Well, I know a lot of people like to talk about what color the Gatorade's going to be or how long the national anthem is. A lot of those are actually illegal in most of the jurisdictions here in this country. Other countries are allowed to post those, and I can understand why. So we usually stick to the field of play. What happens on the field of play? And we've had some crazy ones over the years, whether it's, will a backup quarterback be taking a kneel down as,
victory formation.
Yeah, victory formation. Will the backup quarterback, take the snap during a victory formation? Those type of prop bets that we have posted over the years have, been very, very popular, let's say, for both sides. We've won a few, we've lost a few.
It sounds like the creative process of sports betting. What is the think tank that creates these prop bets?
Well, I got to hand it to our team. It's a long process. It's very time consuming. We do have a lot of fun with it, but for example, the Super Bowl, it takes weeks for the prep work.
Yeah.
And our guys are in there pretty much for about 3 straight weeks, putting all these things together, coming up with new and exciting ones, something that would stir the interest of the general public. But it does take some time. But we do have a lot of fun with it. We were known for that years ago as we expanded the Super Bowl prop menu from about 30 up to now almost 500 propositions for this year's Super Bowl.
Thanks, Jay. All right, next term. All right, cheers, John.
Cheers.
Now it's time to get serious.
Yeah.
What is a parlay?
Well, parlay is what I want all of the customers to bet. Stormy, I encourage parlays. I encourage same-game parlays on the SuperBook app. No, seriously, parlay means you've got to win multiple legs to win.
Okay.
If you bet a 3-team parlay, you got to hit all 3 to win. 5-team parlay, all 5. Harder to win, but the payouts are there, and they're very significant. They're very tempting, and that's a way you could make a lot of money without risking a lot of money. Yeah. That's why they're so popular.
And a lot of heartbreat comes with big parties.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories over the years from our customers that hit 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 11.
That's me.
And I say, why don't you try again?
And why don't you try 4?
Because your day is coming. I'm sure your day of hitting a 12-teamer is coming.
So how does SuperBook create the limits on parlays?
Well, we had a parlay pricing table that we all worked on to determine what a 2-teamer should pay, what a 3-teamer should pay, what a 4-teamer should pay. It's in the house rules, and you can take a look at it, but it's all based on minus 110 parlays. So
what does that mean?
It means like if you bet a bunch of parlays minus 5,000 on the money line, it's not going to pay the same as if they're all minus 110 bets.
Gotcha.
And money line parlays, especially during college football, are very popular.
All right, while we're talking about parlays, I see same-game parlays pop up during live action.
Yeah, those are very popular. Those are becoming one of the more popular betting options, I think, in all of sports betting. So you're betting on multiple things, multiple outcomes in the same game to all happen. For example, you could be betting on the Yankees to win with Aaron Judge did a home run, or whatever example you want to use.
Yeah.
It's all within one game, a same-game parlay. Check out the same-game parlay tabs under Parlays on the SuperBook app and see what the team has built for you.
Perfect. All right, we've talked about point spread. What is money line?
Money line is a very popular wagering option as well. It takes the point spread out of it. All you have to do is win. It's important when you're looking at the money line, they're all based off of a $100 bet. If it says minus 180, that means you need to risk 180 to win 100. Doesn't mean you have to bet that much. You could risk 18 to win 10.
Yeah.
You could risk 18,000 to win 10,000. If it's a plus, that's what you win off of a $100 bet. So if it says plus 110, you bet 100, you win 110. you get back 210.
So a money line bet takes the point spread out of it. Does that make it a less risky bet then?
Not really. I mean, the point spread is the great equalizer. The point spread shows you how much better we think one team is than the other. The money line is just a price for what we think mathematically, what are the odds, the likelihood of this team winning. And if you risk a lot of money on a big favorite and they lose, you can really get hurt. Whereas if you bet it laying minus 10 points at minus 110, you can't lose as much. So it's a little bit riskier sometimes. And sometimes those big favorites do lose.
Yeah.
And people can really lose a lot.
Good point. What if a game ends in a tie?
If an NFL, we get this question every year. It's funny, but if an NFL game ends in a tie and you bet the money line, you get a refund.
Simple enough.
Nobody won, you get your money back.
All right, we're going to call this the speed round, Jay. All right? Teaser.
Teaser. Well, similar to parlays, they're made up of multiple wagers combined into one, but or they have lower payouts than a regular parlay, mainly because added points are involved in teasers to the point spread. So teasers are easier to hit. They just don't pay as much.
Yeah, very cool. Chalk.
Chalk's very simple. That's a term for favorite.
All right, and backdoor cover.
Oh boy, yeah, that's always a fan favorite around here. It's when a team scores late in the contest. Doesn't really affect the outcome of the game, but it affects the point spread. So if the Broncos were up by 14 over the Raiders, sorry Raiders, and the spread was 10, the Raiders were to score real late, cover the spread, that would be a backdoor cover. That's right.
Thank you very much. All right, now that we're all a little smarter, it's time to take a sip of beer, place some bets. Good luck.